They were nervous, Flav. They were worried. But it's back. One for the weekend. The podcast that you need to listen to.
And not all of the subscribers to Bull Street will know what the one for the weekend is.
Exactly. Let me tell you, Flav,
Go on.
what it is, just in case it's gone away and escaped your mind. One for the Weekend is a podcast that we've been doing on the Long Bull Street channel, which you should be subscribed to by now. If you're not, then head over there and do that. Where Flav and Matt have a podcast every week, but we also did One for the Weekend, which was brought to you by FanLeague.
Yep.
Which is it's an app. It's a predictor app where you can see if you can take on your mates and see if you know more about football than them. 13 English games, both in the Premier League and in the Championship, and you can win big money if you can get at least 10 right.
There's two ways you can download this app. One of them is in the link that's in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, then go to the App Store and search for FanLeague, all one word. You can download the app and you can get involved with the show. We've got our own league we've set up. The first 100 people to join can join us in this league. All you have to do is download the app, add James Alcott to your friends, and he will add you to the league. There's a chat room, anyone involved in the league, and we can have banter each other off.
I get very lonely in the evenings.
Yeah.
So come and have a chat, and and get involved in the league, and we'll be talking about the league the whole season through, which will be great fun, and see if you know more about it than me. App's really cool actually, because you put in your kind of the club that you support, the profession that you have, and then there's loads of stats on if
like
you're
a
the best
table.
plumber.
Yeah.
Or if you're the best Man City fan.
There's also a league table based on your club, so if that sort of thing's important to you, and there is this weird, even though it doesn't mean a great deal in the grand scheme of things, you still want to be above Arsenal in the league. It's Spurs fans.
Yeah. So yeah, that's there for you guys.
For those that don't know, what's One for the Weekend then? What's it all about?
One for the Weekend, Flav, is the award-winning podcast. Of course, was on the Long Bull Street channel and was available then. Bit like sort of the BBC Two of Bull Street.
Yeah.
And it's now got its prime time slot. It was essentially the bake-off of preview podcasts. So I, for one, am very excited about that fact. You probably less so, because it means we're not cool now. Does this mean we're not cool?
Well, BBC Two is cool and then it goes mainstream, but mainstream means money, and I like money.
Great.
So that's fine.
That is good, eh? So yeah, Algo crew, get involved in the league. Get your predictions in the comments below. And get chatting to us.
The first 100 people can join us in that league. There are prizes and everlasting fame if you go and win. And we're going to be talking about the league throughout the season, mentioning a few bits and pieces. And who knows, if you're very good, one of you might end up on the podcast with us if you can speak. If you can't speak, then obviously, if you're not very good...
Yeah. It's that kind of medium, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're also going to be getting different people on. We had Ian McIntosh, who's a wicked journalist and podcaster in his own right, on the show a couple of times last year. So we're going to try and get him back on. And
Messi's coming on, I think.
Messi's
Ronaldo.
Lionel, is he?
Yeah, Lionel Messi's coming on. Wow. Ronaldo, Pele.
These are big promises.
And we're trying to get Maradona, but... I don't know. All of it's in the works.
Early days. It really is early days. But look, people want to jump on the bandwagon.
Yes. There are going to be lots and lots of people coming in, lots of guests each week, going to be joining me and James as we go through the season and look forward to the weekend. So One for the Weekend, if you don't know, it's about looking forward to the end of the working week. The football's coming, going out's coming. It's time to relax. And I think the essence of this...
Take the handbrake off, Flav. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Take the handbrake off and quietly listen to a podcast and pay attention.
Indeed.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a good shout. We're going to talk about all the big games. Man City versus Palace, Leicester versus Liverpool, Southampton versus Man United, Hodgson versus Guardiola. Big talking points, big battles.
Who is the better manager?
Exactly. Managerial turning points. We're going to talk about that. Soldiers lost in battle. For those of you who were there at the start, let us know who you are, because that's, you can get a shout out for that.
Yeah,
being there originally, which I know is a big thing for you, Flav.
Yeah.
Before things get cool. Soldiers lost in battle. Some of the saddest stories in football. We've accumulated a few since we've been away.
And these are essentially people that have missed an important football game to do something they didn't want to do. Could be a spouse, could be a brother or sister, a mum or dad. Someone who has forcibly ensured that you didn't get to watch the team that you love.
So we're going to read a few of those later in the show. It's going to be difficult, but we'll try. Right, let's talk football.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, well, Man City versus Palace. Let's kick off there.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to predict football games, right?
This is a banger.
This is a good one for you. It's a good one to sort of get you going.
Yeah.
It's like any video game, you get just the first level's like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's proper easy. This is... If is there any way that Man City can't win this game.
So football's a funny old game.
It's a funny thing.
But mostly it isn't. Mostly it's predictable,
Yeah.
and form wins out, and the people that spend the most money win the most.
Yeah. And
So
it will grind you down to. I love how you started optimistically, then drifted towards that, and then it will pulverise you day after day.
ultimately,
money
that's what football is. You spend the most money, you get the most amount of luck. So
it's a good life lesson.
Yeah. Accumulate money, more luck happens. But there's absolutely zero chance that Palace can get a result here.
I'd love to know what are the. I mean, it's obviously there's so many variables in football, so you don't know.
No,
but
you do.
You do know with this one because 15 goals in 3 games, Man City.
Incredible.
Haven't conceded a goal in that time.
Incredible.
Crystal Palace in the league, yet to score.
They won in the League Cup this week.
I know, but the teams who are crap, they do win in the League Cup.
And when a commentator says a nice distraction from the league, you're you're doing poorly.
Life's tough.
I mean, but the Man City look in fantastic shape this year. I mean, I was critical of Pep Guardiola last year because I thought that given the money he spent already, given the platform that he's been given, and his reputation, that he should have been done a lot more than he did with Man City last year. I think he got away with murder, to be honest. But this year, he's identified the problems. He spent like hundreds.
I was about to go. He's invested smartly. Yeah. I mean, he's gone plonk.
Well, if you look at Everton, they haven't invested smartly. Whereas I think actually, if you're going to spend the money and bring quality in, then he has done that wisely.
Is that done now? That's decided, is it? They haven't invested wisely, Everton.
Everton?
Yeah, that's got a quick shout to make.
They are shit.
Wow.
They might not be shit the whole season. Currently, they are shit.
But like, there's players that Spurs and Everton. There's some parallels there in what you did with Bale.
Yeah, right? It took us 4 years to get over what we did.
Careers were ruined.
Careers were ruined. Like people look at.
Soldado was the nuts when he came to you. 30 million.
23.
What happened? 23 was it?
He just wasn't.
Sorry, who was 30 million?
I think it just shows you the weakness of the Spanish league. Really, that would be my. So he just didn't know. He just could not cope. And we probably didn't play to his. There's a lot of things, a lot of variables.
Who were the signings there? Let's go down memory lane. Can you remember them?
Yeah, Soldado, Chiriches, Ericsson, Chadley.
Chiriches.
Sorry.
Who's that?
He plays now for Roma. It's pretty good.
Oh.
Hang on, how many have we got? Chadley, Ericsson, Kirikesh, Chadley.
Lamella.
Can't remember him though. That's Paulinho.
Paulinho.
Now ripping it up for Barcelona. Like I laughed I could not get my head around that. I could not get my head around the signing for one of the biggest clubs in the world.
I think you're quite quick to make judgments.
It's where I'm comfortable. If you feel right,
balls out,
you feel comfortable
in the wind.
Yeah,
I wouldn't just wafting the smell of.
I don't think that I'd be sitting where I am currently if I just was kind of sitting on the fence all the time. You put your balls out and you put them out early, and you leave them there until the sun gets them.
Ferguson said that if you're going to make a bad decision, you're better off doing it too early than too late.
Yeah, learn fast.
I think he got that from you.
Yeah, I've done a lot of learning in my life. I get most things wrong, and the thing is, when you record and put stuff on, like you're cementing your opinion in
testicle form
in time.
Yeah.
All right, and it's like what I found with the other podcasts that I do is I'll say a statement, and people will assume that that's my viewpoint forever. And that nothing that changes will ever change that viewpoint. So they'll say, well, remember what you said 2 years ago about Ericsson being shit? And I'm like, yeah, but he's fucking great now.
But doesn't that water down your opinion if you can't stick to one?
Nah. I don't think so.
Okay.
People still listen.
As long as I'm right at the moment.
Yeah. Like, look, if you say something with enough force, people believe it.
Right.
Look at what... Actually, let's leave that.
Political.
Yeah, it's too political. Certainly not on this show, but in maybe another one.
For that.
Yeah.
Carl Walker, looking good there. Him and Mendy. Problems last year were the fullbacks.
Yeah.
And I guess you'd like to say John Stones looks great, and it's because he's not defending.
Yeah.
Full stop. So you become a good defender if you're not defending. How much does Carl Walker add to a team?
An incredible amount, because he's not the greatest footballer out there, but his value to a team, given his work ethic, the width that he gives them, and the pace. It terrifies defenders. I'm not saying much. I'm not saying anything that people don't know already about Carl Walker, but he offers them athleticism and an ability to get forward and a pace. And I'd say carrying the ball is not one of his strengths either. But he's so quick that he gets away with a lot as well. His technique isn't fantastic. He can't really cross. But
how much does Kyle Walker bring?
But his physicality it almost cancels it all out, and he's intelligent at understanding what he needs to do and when to make those bursts forward.
Yeah.
When to.
He's exhausting.
As a fullback and a winger, having to track him opposite him would be, exhausing. Yeah. Exactly. So he offers a lot, and he's a passionate. Driven player. He's ambitious, and that's what you need in your team. Yeah. The key thing, he follows instruction. He understands tactics.
I'm not going to go through all my picks because you can see that on the app itself. But I go through some bankers and some upsets, and then
this is a banker.
This is I'll give you this one because it's the first podcast. I've gone for Man City. The other thing that we wanted to chat about, we were chatting about it in the office the other day, was Guardiola and Hodgson.
Yeah.
Two ends of the spectrum in terms of what's the word?
What, I guess image. Sex appeal?
Yeah. Yeah, certainly sex appeal. Yeah. General standing in the game.
I mean, Pep has had it all. He's like the prince of a royal family. You can't not foul unless you're a monumental fuck up. You can't not foul. So Pep Guardiola has done amazingly well with all the tools at his disposal. It's not hard to get a first-class degree if every one of your parents and family and all of the peers went to Oxford University and you went there as well.
That's huge pressure because someone could crumble under that.
They're true, and it shows something about his person. He's done it. But all I want to see, Jim, is him do it with West Brom or Stoke.
I agree.
Same with Messi. Like, you've had your day in the sun. You've had millions of days in the sun. You scored 300 goals for Barcelona at the Nou Camp alone.
Yeah, madness. Go on, just make us dream.
Yeah, go and join QPR. See what you can do with them.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like almost disrespectful to him to go that far down. But go, I think again we said it about Guardiola. Go to Swansea, be a god.
Yeah.
Or go to Napoli, like that level.
What Maradona did.
Do what Maradona did.
So I mean, but it's saying if this, it's not. I guess it's for these people. It's not about legacy. It's purely about winning things, and maybe they're not seeing the glory in what he could do by getting Swansea to the Champions League, for example, or even winning the league with Swansea. If he did that, Guardiola could probably retire as one of the greatest managers ever to do it. At the moment, there will always be a caveat against his name. Same with Messi. There will always be a caveat against his name. The same way there is with Pele, is he never did it outside of playing for Santos in Brazil. Messi has always had some of the greatest players around him. It's time to go to Swansea.
It's time to go. Yeah, with Guardiola, every time his hand has had 4 aces before it starts.
Yeah.
And if that's happening, then you should be winning things. Since 2011, he hasn't won the Champions League. And people would go, well, hang on, there's only one team that can win that. And he has got to semi-finals with Bayern Munich. But that Barcelona team, I mean, I know people have heard this as well, but those teams, first of all, that Spanish team won everything, and those players were there, and he brought them through and did brilliantly with them, no doubt. Bayern Munich, he's got these teams playing great football, but he's got great players there. But is it unfair to say you're a better manager than you are because you're a better manager with a stupidly good squad and a silly amount of money than someone like,
comes down to,
I mean, maybe not Roy Hodgson, but
comes down to
someone like Pulis or
Mourinho's a better example. What he did with Inter Milan to win the treble there, to win the Champions League with Porto, those are bigger feats than anything that Guardiola's ever done.
Yeah.
If you look back at history of what Mourinho did compared to what Guardiola did, Mourinho's is leaps and bounds. All right. Yeah. It's above Guardiola at this stage. Yeah. But when they end their career, who knows? But at the moment, I'll tell you what though, is there more of a boring appointment than Roy Hodgson at Palace?
Is there more boring? No, there isn't more boring than that, I'm afraid.
And
not in the game today.
No. Is it time he just stopped? Like
I've had a little intervention time.
Yeah, is it like
Friedman goes, "You're right," touches his hand.
Yeah.
Hey, I think you've done so well.
Yeah.
But I was watching it actually yesterday. Celebrity the Island, in there.
The Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls thing, yeah. And I love that. Like Bear Grylls is just like warrior, And he's never in there, is he? He's never in there like just going, guys, right, this is what you need to do. He's on the beachfront, like sipping a pina colada, going, to survive, you've got to blah blah blah. He's never in there. Anyway, there was a moment they had to have an intervention with some comedian, basically going, enough's enough here. And do you think that's what needs to happen with Roy Hodgson? He's got some horrible games coming up.
I just want him to go away now. I've had enough of him. Like, he's had his chance. Stop coming back.
Stop coming back.
That said, I never used to feel that way about him, and I think it's Liverpool that's done this to him, because Liverpool fans hate him, and he had a good reputation before going. I mean, he just come off the back of getting Fulham to the Europa League, and that is not an easy thing to do.
No.
You know, I've seen Spurs play a lot of games in the Europa League, and it ain't any easy competition to reach the final of.
And so this is a question to put out to people. So tweet us at Ball Street, or get involved in the comments, or just let us know somehow. Managerial turning points. So Roy Hodgson, I think it was Liverpool. He stepped up and didn't really have the passion they were looking for. I think. Like, you could look at the difficulties they're going on, and we'll get onto that in a second with Klopp. But Liverpool fans love Klopp because of the way that Klopp is. Probably for the same kind of reasons. Hodgson, they hated him because he wasn't inspiring at the least. But at a lower level, West Brom came in, bit of calm, got them playing okay football, and they did well. Same at Fulham. And there's a lot of managers. If you last long enough, you'll become a joke. It's all
that's the same with any art form or any business. If you stay long enough to destroy your own legacy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's why I like musicians that die young, always considered to be like gods in their time.
Do you think there's any managers? That's another thing I think people have found sexy about Guardiola is he's kind of threatened to walk away at times. But I mean, obviously he hasn't done it yet. But there is that kind of rumour that goes around that he's going to do 3 years in Man City, and then apparently he wants to manage Brazil, and then that's it.
Right, that isn't
he
wants
to complete the game.
Not for me.
No,
that's not it. Completing the game. There's more teams, and there's more sides and nations that could do with your help than Brazil.
True.
All right.
Who was it? There was another manager you was saying that there was a moment when it just went wrong. It was Kerbishley.
Yeah, so when Spurs played West Ham, and they were 2-0 up. Tevez, Mascherano that time they were 2-0 up, and we ended up beating them 4-3. It wasn't Kerbishley. I'm thinking about another game. Don't worry. But we beat them 4. Stalteri scored in the last minute, and Kerbishley just booted the bottle up in the air, and that was the kind of end of him, really. Yeah. We kind of took their souls that day.
There's a couple of other ones. Zola, everyone thought, wow, a footballing genius, so as a manager would be great, and did well at different times, but then kind of the turning point for him, West Ham, started to go a bit sour. They dropped in to be manager of Watford. Again, did okay, but he was on his way down. Then Birmingham.
I think they're essentially just managers that weren't really good. It was always going to go wrong for them.
Quick managerial turning point. Roberto Di Matteo won the Champions League. He was like from nowhere. He just fell into this Chelsea job. Won the Champions League. A couple of months later, out the door. Then West Brom didn't work.
But it would have happened regardless. He just went in there and just kept the ball rolling. Somewhat, I think. Other managers that should just stop, in my opinion. Adi Boothroyd.
Okay.
Steve Cotterill.
Cotterill.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Cotterill. Okay. And just Sam Allardyce. It's time for him to pack it all in.
He's one who's there's not really been a bad turning point for him.
No, he's been consistently good. Just kind of sick of him though.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. Leicester versus Liverpool.
This is like there are some games where you just go. You feel like there's going to be an upset just because kind of history, no other thing around it. I know Liverpool aren't doing the best, but there's another one which is straight after it, Southampton versus Man United. It's like historically you have your bogey teams and you have those teams that we always seem to get points against. I mean, and this for Leicester at home, they've won the last 2 years on the trot.
Yeah.
And beat them in midweek as well. So. Will they do it a third time? You've gone for it, man.
Well, I have, because I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with Jurgen Klopp. I haven't been impressed ever since he come in. I knew
because he's optimistic.
I think he's just given. He's given a lot more sway than most managers. Leeway, give more leeway than most managers get. And there was a great quote. It was actually from Fjortoft. Do you remember him?
Jan Arga Fjortoft.
Yeah, he played for Swindon when they were in the Premier
Swindon
League.
Burrows.
Had a great celebration, the aeroplane celebration when he scored.
He famously made out with Tim Flowers.
Brilliant, lovely. I'd love to see it.
Get it off this.
Okay, was it on YouTube? Is it?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Great. On the dark web.
I've never been there.
I live in the dark web. Hodgson. So what I'm talking about? Sorry. Yeah, Klopp. It's essentially, if it was Wenger or if it was Van Gaal on this run that he's on, he wouldn't be given the patience that Klopp has. But because Klopp's media friendly, because the Liverpool fans adore him, he's kind of like, he can do much worse than these other people and still kind of get away with it. You know,
is that a problem?
It's a problem it's a problem for the game. Yeah, because by being likable means that mediocrity is sanctioned. It's okay to be less than good as long as you make some jokes in front of the camera. If I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be asking questions right now, because the same questions were asked of Hodgson and even worse, Brendan Rodgers, who nearly won the league and has a better win ratio than Klopp.
Yeah.
David Moyes, who lasted less than a season.
Yeah.
Had a better win ratio than Klopp.
He's the one though, isn't he? He's the one they wheel out.
Yeah.
Right. This manager's not good. Clearly, look.
But it used to be.
Look, David Moyes. Just a picture of David Moyes. Won more games, and it's someone. Someone that ugly can win more games. He's got to go.
I just think he's kind of cast a spell over everyone, and it's bollocks.
But do you know what? My rebuttal to that would be, you need managers who can cast spells, because there are peaks and troughs in football.
But look what everyone's beating Pochettino with. He's not a winner. He is not a winner.
He's not a winner.
No one's saying anything about Klopp.
Well, he's won stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah, but not. He's got to finals and stuff. I think he won the Bundesliga once. That's fine, but he's not been a winner for Liverpool.
True.
What's he won with Liverpool?
Nothing yet.
Yeah, nothing yet. Exactly.
The beauty of it is that there's so many ways to defend or attack a situation or a manager.
The irony is, I think that it's good that he gets you're patient with your manager, and I don't think he should be sacked. Like, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would be wanting to give more time. I just think that there's something weird about him specifically. He gets, but I think all managers should get more time. As my to add to that.
I think it's as I say with that magical spell. If you don't have that over the fans, then you won't survive.
No.
Because you won't be around long enough, because you'll lose 4 games on the trot and then you'll go.
But if he doesn't qualify for the Champions League this year, he's got to go, hasn't he?
Why?
He's got.
He doesn't have to.
But a club the size of Liverpool, Man United wouldn't stand for it, Man City wouldn't stand for it.
But there's
like
teams that have been in the Champions League more often, more regularly than Liverpool.
Yeah, but it's the way Liverpool fans see themselves. Like, either they are a big club and they see themselves as a big club, or they're a smaller club and they accept mediocrity. I don't know. Where are you
intriguing. Where am I?
Look, just so you know, I accept mediocrity. I'll keep
I've been there.
I'll keep Pochettino forever because I love him. I want him to be my dad if my dad didn't exist.
But what if he had the same? What if he had a worse record than David Moyes? Then he's got to go. He's got to go.
I think there's much more to it. I'm being a little bit facetious, but I think it's about how you feel about your football club. That's the most important thing. That's why you love Holloway so much.
Yeah,
very,
I do love
very
Holloway,
average, below average manager.
Well, he's doing well this year, sort of. Yeah. Although some fans like to get on his back. Let's not get into that. Southampton, although QPR and versus Burton is in the 13.
Yeah, I've gone for a QPR win.
Guaranteed. Not. This is your we've done well, worked hard against teams, and then we played Burton, who it's a guaranteed 3 points, and we will at best draw. Although I have gone for a win because I'm a bloody lad. Southampton versus Man United. This is another one. Do you remember the old Letitia, the old grip? That's what we always talk about, don't we? The home game at the Dell.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to the Dell?
Never.
Did you not?
No.
I didn't either. It was tiny.
Yeah.
Actually, my dad went. Could have taken me. Didn't.
Thanks, Dad. I've got one of those.
Dad?
Yep. He got Dad, and he could have taken me to FA Cup final. Decided not to. Took my older brother.
FA Cup final.
FA Cup final.
Mate, save that for Soldiers Lost in Battle. That's mental.
Yeah, I will do actually.
Why would he do that?
Well, he had 3 sons and 1 ticket, so he took the oldest. I think it's out of order.
Yeah.
Should have flipped a coin at least.
You should have told him that in about 15 years you'll have a very successful podcast.
Should have done.
Based around Spurs, and so it would be in your best interest for the podcast and the money that you'll hopefully one day be making from
I'm
that.
only shed loads.
Yeah, I know. I just
Can't
didn't reveal it on here, but I have now.
I can't spend all the money that I have. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
And you could have seen some of that. Won't now.
No, you won't. Not a single penny. You won't see a penny one from me. I am living in his house though, so it's just temporary. I'm fine.
Swings and roundabouts.
Everything's okay. It's just that I needed somewhere to stay after the breakup. Let's move on.
Not our breakup.
No, we're all together. We're flames.
Absolutely.
Flav and Jane.
Manchester United look good. Look very good. And Man City look good as well.
There's nowhere other than this is the Premier League is going than Manchester. Is it too early to say that?
We said this about Man City last year, didn't we?
Mm.
You know what happened? Played Spurs, didn't they?
They did play Spurs.
But Spurs aren't as good this year, are they?
Well, we are as good. We just got Wembley.
Yeah.
And I believe in Hoodoo now.
Do you? You're in that?
Yeah, I'm back in it.
Really?
Well, I wasn't. After Dortmund, I was out of it. I didn't believe in Hoodoo. It was black magic. Well, no, he gives us rubbish. But then we drew against Swansea and struggled past Barnsley. So very much back in the Hoodoo camp.
That's really odd. You've got to stay away from it.
It's about getting up for things. Like, why would Spurs be bothered with Tin Pot Swansea and Tin Pot Barnsley? These are Tin Pot football clubs. We are a major force in English football. Our quality alone should be able to brush those two little Tin Pot clubs away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You understand that?
No.
You don't understand it because you're a Tin Pot club as well.
Well, thank you for that.
No problem.
Can you see can Chelsea do it? We put a video out last week talking about how actually dangerous they are. Eden Hazard is back.
He is
this
back.
week.
It's a little bit. I thought they would beat Arsenal convincingly, but maybe Arsenal are better than people are giving them credit for. That's my assumption. A little bit. I thought they would struggle against Chelsea. I thought they'd get beat handsomely by them.
Yeah,
but
I think a lot of people did.
I think that Wenger is still a great manager, and that forward line now that you kept Sanchez and Ozil, I think they've got a shout with qualifying for the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I
know they want the league, but they're
and out of those two, Man United and Man City, who's winning that league?
I think Man United will win it. I said Man United before the season starts. I'm sticking with it. Although, as we've seen, you cannot separate them. They are, as we stand, Man City are on five games played. Basically, the stats are the same. 5 games played, 4 games won, 1 draw, 16 goals scored, and 2 conceded.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Mm.
That's incredible. Could it be that tight for the rest of the season? It could, couldn't it?
It could. If the Premier League finished now, they'd have to have a playoff.
That'd be amazing. Wouldn't it?
What I like about it though is that Man City, Premier League as it stands, Man City are top, and it's probably down to alphabetical order. But Sam Peoples of United People's TV, he says they're not. They're both top.
Yeah, he's very, very getting a bit arsey about that.
Yeah, he was. They're not both top, Sam. It's very much Man City top.
Very much Man City
Those
top.
are the rules.
Men crying.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry at football.
Of course. Well, no.
But is it okay to cry outside of football? The reason I ask, Flav, is because we're going to an emotional area of the podcast now. We're going to do Soldiers Lost and Battle in a second. Okay. I just wanted to talk about this story, which was heartwarming. Another reason why I kind of want to talk about this. This is the last podcast video we're going to do together as single men.
What do you mean?
Me and Flat, no. I'm getting married.
Well,
and
you've been in a relationship, as have I.
Yeah.
We're not single. Well, does your
you're not officially
fiance
single.
Does your fiance understand that you can class yourself as single rather than cohabiting?
By law, I'm officially single right now, aren't I?
No, you're cohabiting.
What's that?
It means you're living with someone.
Nah.
So when you're going out on the night out with the lads, lads are flinging it about at the weekend.
Flinging it
about.
Does it come back when you fling it?
Sometimes it stays away for a bit and then comes back.
Really, like a boomerang. If you're Australian,
about 3 or 4 minutes for me, but maybe others a bit longer.
Well,
yeah, so you're flinging it about. It's a weekend, one for the weekend.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Lots of excitement to have.
Yeah.
And this is what the show's all about. It's not all the football. It's all about the young ladies as well, or men.
Whatever you need.
Whatever you want.
So I'm going to try and bring it back to football a bit, but is it okay to cry if you're a man outside of football?
Well,
the reason I say this is because Italian football produced one of the feel-good stories of the season this weekend. 16-year-old striker Pietro Pellegrini became the youngest player to ever score in Serie A brace. So that's fine.
16-year-old, 2 goals in a league. That's insane.
The beautiful thing though is his dad is the assistant manager for Genoa, and when he scored his second goal,
Yeah.
He went.
He did.
He burst out in tears, which is a beautiful moment. It's on YouTube somewhere.
It's incredible. It's lovely.
And the reason it got me there, because I reckon after the first one, he wanted to go. It was like, it was sort of around that.
Yeah, but you can keep it in.
But then the second one, it was just like too much. It was too much for him. He couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
And what if that happens to me, mate? On the day?
What day?
On the wedding day?
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
Should I just get a football out or something?
No.
I'll just get my phone out and go, I'm just watching the clip from... the...
Zamora, 2014.
Yeah, no, Pellegrini. Got a brace. Youngest person ever to do it. Unbelievable.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, of course.
You'll be in bits.
I will.
You'll be in bits. You'll be there.
My little Jimbo.
Yeah, you're
Giving away.
On the day, both me and you going. Watching on YouTube.
It's going to be a very happy day, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Have you ever cried at football?
Yeah, I've cried.
We've chatted about this on Social Club, haven't we? Once.
Yeah, twice.
Didn't someone you know cry recently?
Yeah, so Jake. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say this. I'm sure he won't watch it. But Jake, my good friend, we went to Spurs versus Dortmund at Wembley, and when Harry Kane scored his third goal, he burst into tears when we scored, and it was like, we're not even that far in the tournament.
That's amazing.
There are rules about crying in football, and crying in the first group game that's not acceptable.
Too much.
Yeah.
But it matters. Wembley hoodoo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's an emotional thing.
Yeah.
Because he thought he got rid of it, and then you drew with Swansea.
Yeah, and eked past Barnsley.
Yeah. Do you know what annoyed me a little bit?
What?
In that game, it was saying just 26,000 watched them beat Barnsley. That's not too bad, is it?
It's about what we get at White Hart Lane. So it is bad in a stadium that has 90,000 seats, but isn't bad in what League Cup games at White Hart Lane generally, got.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
It's added to the fact that we're having to go to Wembley as well. No one wants to go there. It's horrible. So, there was a lot of that as well. I think probably for whatever it was priced, £5-10, we would have gone if it was White Hart Lane and filled it out probably.
Fair enough. My dad pretty much cries every goal. I don't know if it's like, it's not full on sobbing, but it's like Alcott's cry.
They cry. When something makes you laugh, even just for a few seconds. These tears start appearing in your eyes. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm just water sloshing about my cheeks. But my dad, he kind of just gently.
Two little tears. What, a bit emotional or?
I don't know if he's just like and then it just like oozes out. Sort of
it's
not squeezes out.
It isn't like he's like welled up because he can't believe what QPR scored, because he must have seen untold goals that QPR scored.
That's true. It'd be good to know. What's the smallest thing you've cried about at football? My mate Sean, drunk, so he was so hungover once he started crying.
What do you mean?
He was in the car, and I was like, he was in the front seat. I was driving, and I looked over, and I was like, "Are you crying?" And he did the stage. He went.
And then burst into
just like welling up.
He was just so
hungover. He just started crying.
Look, I understand that. I've been hugely emotional after a big session, but something has to kick it off. I'm not just crying because I'm hungover. It's like I've just seen a little kid fall over, or I've been watching Maury Povich.
Yeah, Maury Povich. Drew Ricky Lake.
Yeah. Cool.
Is she fat? Is she not fat? Well, you'll have to tune in to find out.
But she's beautiful, either way.
Yeah, she's beautiful on the inside, and that's what counts.
And on the outside, fuck's sake. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Soldiers Lost in Battle Time. Here we go. Flav, you explain. I would like you explain.
So this is a tough time for all football fans. This is when outside forces prevent you from joining and following the football club that you love and hold dear to your heart. And sometimes in life, you have to do things that you don't want to, but they feel right even when they're wrong. Like sirens when you're recording a podcast. It's
difficult.
Sometimes you can't do much about these things. So what we're going to hear right now is some of the stories from you out there, the listener, who sent them in, and we really get to the bottom of these harrowing experience, and hopefully by sharing you find some solace and some happiness in the darkness. Yeah,
and just know that we're here with you, and this is what we need to read this out to share it, just because we're all soldiers lost in battle sometimes, and there's been a lot that have come in over the summer months, and here are a few. If you've got your own one, then send it in and we'll try and read it next week. We can get quite emotional.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best ways to do that is to go to our YouTube comments.
Subscribe while you're there.
Hit play. Is that right?
Right. Dr. JRL. A mate of mine once missed a game for our local team because he had to plumb in his washing machine. Never looked at him the same after that.
Stay strong, brother.
RJS. I had to miss Liverpool batter Spurs this season to go to my girlfriend's 21st fucking birthday party. Fuck my life. Multi-Robbo Ghost. When I was 10, I missed the African Cup of Nations final where my country, Egypt, won their 7th title because I overslept. Paul McKellar. Was meant to go see Everton versus Man City at Goodison this season on my day off work. Instead of going to the match, I had my fingers plunged deep. My work colleague had pulled a sickie and I was left to prep 40 chickens for a wedding dinner reception. We won 4-0. I've got the name on this one, sorry. I once dated a girl who looked like... This is an old one, but I like it. I once dated a girl who looked like Bruce Forsyth because her brother would often have spares for Tottenham games. After 2 years, our friendship blossomed and the fruits of my labour was a ticket to my first North London derby. Naturally, I broke up with his sister as soon as I heard, on account of her looking like Bruce Forsyth. However, soon after he inexplicably withdrew the offer, our friendship was a parody. I've not been able to get tickets to the North London derby since, and now I live in Australia. I snapped my banjo string with her. And she was ginger. That's not. No need for that.
No need to add that.
Van Stewart. My saddest story is I left my English exam halfway through to go to Dundee United away. It was worth it up to the point the bus broke down coming home, and then I went on to get 18% in my English exam.
18%.
But it's alright. Celtic 1-4-1.
Lovely.
Yeah, the music
Stop
run,
the music.
so stop there.
Yeah,
I had others. But the same for next week.
Yeah, we've got loads. And remember to send in your soldiers lost in battle. We're all in it together. We've all been through dark times, and to make sure you share these stories because you're helping others. Know that.
Absolutely, yeah. Sharing is caring, and that's what we're trying to do there. The saddest story you can think of, let us know.
Still City derby this week.
Yeah!
Sheffield United versus Sheffield Wednesday.
Exciting.
Do you know what's really exciting?
Go on.
Interesting. So I look at the head-to-head stats of both of these teams, right? So this is according to Wikipedia, so I'm hoping it's true, right? They've played each other 140 games, 40 times. United have won 48. They've drawn 40 times, and Wednesday have won 48 times. United have scored 174 goals, and Wednesday have scored 174 goals.
That's incredible.
Doesn't sound true.
It doesn't sound true.
But
Wikipedia makes you worried, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I it's better that let believe a bit. You know, what I mean, believe in a little bit of magic. You know, and those are my notes.
So straight up bragging rights up for grabs here.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday have got the bigger names in their squad. They've had Carvalho's done well with them. They got them to the playoffs. I think it's 2 years on the trot.
Yeah.
First year was a bit of a surprise. Last year, I think it was Huddersfield who beat them in the semi-finals. They were expected to win that one. So now they're kind of at that point where it's expected for them to get in the playoffs a little bit. They've spent a bit of money. They've got Barry Bannon. They got Fletcher up front. I think they got. I might be wrong in saying this. They might have David Nugent. I might be getting that wrong.
Yeah, you are.
I am getting that wrong. Good. But they've got some. They've got those names that you've seen in the Premier League. Sheffield United, on the other hand, absolutely destroyed these. I want to say second division because I'm old school. League One, and they've done really well. I really didn't expect them to do as well as they have so far. So that's gonna be a cracking game.
How have you gone in your bet? In your pick for the FanLeague?
I've gone with the home advantage, but I've half hedged it, which is when you can bet on two different things.
Bet on a draw.
Bet on a draw, yeah, and I've gone for a draw as well because these derbies are, and especially with it like that, it'll probably 40 draws, 48 wins a piece. I reckon it'll probably be a draw. Those games are like I went to Union Sheffield. and you can't go in pubs with scarves or anything over those derbies because
they definitely hate each other.
They proper hate each other,
and they don't actually, because they're flitted around different divisions. It's not a guarantee that there's going to be a derby each year. So
true.
Yeah,
well, of course there wasn't. I've
been to Sheffield a couple of times at Menzel's.
Yeah, Menzel's. Yeah.
Success. Poured a couple of crackers.
Well, yeah, Sheffield fans, we want to hear some success stories. How's that gone for you?
I mean, I won't call them successes. I had some great times. But I remember one lady, a larger lady, took a fancy to me, took a shine to me.
Okay.
And she forcibly...
Ricky Lake, was it?
She forcibly took me around a corner.
She started walking up to you and everyone was just going, Ricky, Ricky.
No, that's not funny either. Anyway, called me around a corner, pulled me around a corner and started sort of having a way with me. But I...
But you had no choice in it.
Kind of. I mean, I'd rather it wasn't happening. Can't be on. I'm making a confession here. I haven't FanLeague.
Put the music on.
For the weekend. Yeah, put the music back on. But it was a great time. I laughed. We laughed it off.
Yeah, good. Wow. That's amazing.
Back to the game though.
Who have you gone for? I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday with the home one.
Yeah, I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday as well. Really impressed with what they've been doing. The manager especially. I love the way he's changed the ethos. He came into a broken football club essentially.
They're a massive football club.
Yeah, they're huge.
Massive football club. But yeah, you're right. It was kind of... They just had no money, at all.
And I think it often takes someone to come in as a leader and take the matters by...
Like Jurgen Klopp.
I like Jurgen Klopp, like Pochettino. He's gone in there and changed the ethos, and he not only did he changed the way that the team played and the way we fought for each other, but also the fans. He brought them in as a part of it and encouraged them to be more positive about the team. And there's nothing more rewarding and nothing more productive than positivity in a football club.
Absolutely.
You can overachieve so much, and
that's what kills me about social media a little bit with football. Like, I get it. I was chatting to Adam about it earlier. It was with Twitter and how people just cheer up on Twitter. Like, you're ruining it sometimes. If you, I don't know. Obviously, after a while, when you're not winning games, then if anyone gets to about 4 games and never won a game, there's like this massive crisis. And for your team, you can't let people do that.
No.
You've got a responsibility to kind of get behind the lads.
Yeah, but that's you're in the minority.
Right.
I'm in the minority.
Okay.
It's just the way people are.
Nearly at the end now.
Yeah, but we've got a new feature.
Yeah, you like this, DM?
I do. I like it a lot.
So I was on. So you guys, you'll be
hot headlines.
Yeah, we need a jingle for it.
Yeah,
professional one.
Don't worry, we're getting that. You'll start to hear some slight differences through the season.
Oh really?
Jingles. A few bits and pieces.
Yeah, okay. Get Ricky Lake.
Quite exciting. Stop talking about Ricky Lake. She's not coming on the podcast.
Yeah. She was brilliant in Hairspray.
Anyone knows if we can get Ricky Lake on the pod, hit us up, tweet her maybe
on
our
amazing.
behalf.
That's
Ricky
the
Lake.
dream.
That's the dream. All right, hot headlines. What's it all about?
Montel Jordan. Remember him?
Yeah, I'll take him. This isn't a joke. He's been in my house. Montel Jordan has been in my house.
No, hang on. Oh my God, I don't think I'm even Montel Jordan.
What?
I don't think I'm even Montel Jordan.
Oh, have you done an accidental racism?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Montel, the talk show host.
The talk show
I don't know what his surname is. Yeah, he's been in my house.
So that's not too bad.
He's been in my house.
His name is Montel. Crying, see?
Yeah.
Hot headlines. Let's get into it. So yeah, you'll be looking at the papers.
Yeah.
And you'll be going, who am I going to put my accumulator on?
Yep.
Who am I going to pick on FanLeague? And my 13 games, who am I going to pick? And you'll see some headlines. And I noticed some today, and I thought, what makes a good headline? What are we after? What grabs the eye?
Well, a little bit of alliteration.
Alliteration is huge for me. And here's one. So what I would like people to do is to send in their favourite headlines.
And we need to guess what
We've got to guess what the article is.
Yeah.
We can try and be creative, or we can have a proper go for it. We'll see how we feel at the time.
Yeah.
But I've got just 3 examples here, just to get people going to start with.
Go on.
Just to talk about the
criteria. Can I guess what
you're
talking about? Because I genuinely don't know what this is.
Oh, okay. So first up, and this is for me, Flav. This is a cracker of a headline. Shrew set for standing start.
So I'm guessing, having read that as well, is that they haven't spent hugely in the transfer market. It's about Shrewsbury Town.
Who's they? Shrewsbury's not a manager then?
I don't know. That's my feeling is Shrewsbury Town. And standing start means that because they haven't spent a lot of money, they're not going to do well at the start of the season.
Absolutely incorrect.
Right.
First of all, let's pick apart that headline. What it's done there, which is a journalism must on a headline, 6 words should be telling a story. So that is 6 words, which is great. Alliteration. There's 5 S's there, which again is great. You know, if you've got a lisp, then that's going to bring home some issues, and that's going to be disappointing. But apart from that, everyone else will be fine with it. So again, good.
Yeah, it's good. What's it about then?
It's about Shrewsbury Town. They got the money now for safe standing. So it's about to happen. So nothing to do with that at all. You were completely wrong. So on that level, disappointing as a headline.
No problem.
It's not really telling the story.
Hit me with another one.
Slim Stunner sees off Reds. Again, alliteration, great.
Lovely. It's about Slimani's brilliant goal against Liverpool this week in the League Cup.
Yep,
beautiful.
Absolute screamer of a goal. Yeah. So that for me is an average headline.
Yeah.
It can be better. Obviously, there's what's the Celtic one? That's a great one. Super Cali, go ballistic. Celtic were atrocious.
Yeah.
That is probably the best one. So don't send that one in because I'm not going to read it because everyone's seen that one. And then another one, bit of alliteration again. Boost for Blues as Eden ready for Chelsea start.
Obviously, Eden Hazard's returned from injury.
Massive thing that, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he is a huge game changer for them. And another one, I haven't got it written down here, but so this is a poor one. Is I don't know if I can remember it now, but it was Danilo going. He explained, exclusive to the whole world, that he explained that the quality of the squad was the reason for his confidence in them, which I thought was a great piece of
the perfect example of straight batting footballers.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's true.
Remember, next week we want the one for the weekend questions, want more of your hot headlines. We also want, most importantly, soldiers lost in battle. Remember to download the app. It's so important that you get involved with us.
Yeah, get involved in the league.
100 people. The link is in the description below. If you're looking on YouTube, then you add James Alcott as a friend inside the app and he'll add you to the league. Only 100 people can get into our league. We might start another one, or there may be other leagues you can get involved. There's all kind of leagues and you can recruit your friends and get them involved as well. You stick a little tiny amount of money, like 20p. It is the
you can play for 20p.
And you can win big money, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't a joke here. We're not mucking about. Yeah. We're talking about big money.
And with that money, you could go on holiday, go see Ricky Lake.
Actually, if you get 13 out of 13 results, you actually can end up with a lot. You could end up with a lot of dough. Download the app. Depends on how many people are paying in as well. This is it. So
actually, if you refer a mate and they win and you've played,
get a bit of money back.
Casherino coming to you for that.
Yeah, so you just recruit people in. It's great. I mean, it's a really fun little app and it's great to play with other people, and we want to play with you. We'll be playing it all season, and those people that play with us in the league, they'll be made a part of the one for the weekend show.
That's it. Yeah, so the one for the weekend is back. For those of you who are pleased with that, then give the video a like and give us a rating on iTunes as well, because that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sweet. I won't be back next week.
No.
You will.
We're working on some hot talent.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So there may be 1 or 2 people coming in with me.
Sweet. Right, we'll see you very soon. Imagine that. Imagine a miss line.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Cheers, lads.